called you here. MCAT's changing their channels to 189 and 190.
Are you joking me?
No, I'm Commissioner Gordon. The Joker jokes.
We've been banished from the other channels.
No, we're just moving to channels 189 to 190.
Do you have a cough drop?
Yeah, maybe I can think that one.
And we're live.
Wow.
Welcome to Wake Up Missoula.
That was a really funny PSA.
Yeah. Have you not seen them yet?
I haven't seen that one yet. I've seen some of them.
Yeah.
But what's the reason for these PSAs, Scott?
So, well, if you were paying attention to the PSAs mean that we're changing our channel from channel 7 to 11 to channel 189 to 190.
And, yeah, that's...
You want to know why? Because I would love to know why, too.
Well, I think the reasons why is that...
But the reason why is that they're getting rid of all the analog channels and doing all digital.
Okay.
Everything's becoming digital nowadays. Our quality might increase, but I doubt it.
I think it's going to be a good thing. You got to put a positive spin on it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it'll be a good thing because they're changing everything to digital. So.
Yeah. And speaking of positive spin, I'm going to try to show all the PSAs and talk about them and critique them and
Very
say,
good.
oh, okay, so this one, I'm going to set it up. I'll just show it. Here you go.
You just can't go around fighting MCAT on channel 7 and 11 anymore.
Why?
Because they've moved from channel 7 and 11 to 189 and 190.
Why?
Because they just are, okay?
Why?
I order you to stop doing that.
Why?
Ah! Come on, we gotta tell everybody. Come on, let's go!
Why?
Yep.
And that is that. What
That's
else do
that.
we have on deck?
Oh, we have
movie parodies.
We have
right?
all these movie parodies changing our channels from channel 7 and 11 to channel 189 and 190. So we have a lot of stuff
So
we
we're
have
just
on
going to
today.
keep reminding you through these movie parodies that we're changing our channels.
But of course, I'm going to skip that and save the other PSAs for a little bit later, and I'm going to
Great.
show our handy dandy webcam, and you can see downtown Missoula. It's Spruce Street and Higgins. There's Wardens across
Warden's
the street.
Market, the famous Warden's
And if you look
Market.
closely, you can see the courthouse.
Courthouse, yeah.
Yep. And it's going to be a fairly nice day. Let's take a look at our forecast. 58 degrees outside. Like every morning, the humidity is high. There's going to be a chance of scattered thunderstorms with a high of 93. And it's going to start getting cooling off. Not really, but just still staying in the low 90s to high 80s throughout the weekend. And all these slight chance of thunderstorms. So be careful, make sure you catch these fires before they get out.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's right.
yeah, weather is great. I mean, I don't have any megs, so we don't know. There's no media assistant grants, no new episodes of anything coming on tonight. I mean, we usually don't premiere a lot of episodes on the prime slots, but most of our new episodes are on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays.
Okay.
Towards the big chunk in the middle of the week where we show a lot of the great programming that we provide here for MCAT, for you at home, for your viewing pleasure. We have Darko waiting in the wing for us.
Darko Butoracs from Missoula Symphony Orchestra will be joining us.
And he's talking about music or something.
Yes.
So we'll have him on here shortly.
He's talking about an epic event that will be summer concert in Caras Park.
But we'll let him tell you about about it. But for right now, I want to talk a little bit about events. Then we'll show a PSA, and then we'll bring Darko in here. We have the regular Sierra Club backpacking trip, which is happening this morning. If you like the nature, learning about nature, getting in touch with the environment, they have great stuff with the Sierra Club, so you can look that up on their website. That's sierraclubmt.org. And of course, there's all sorts of great events also going on. It looks like Stage 112 is doing a Miller Creek VTO DAR. It's a music rock thing at 9 a.m. at Stage 112. So once you're done watching a show, just go to Stage 112 and watch a rock show at 9 a.m. Let's see. Which probably isn't so. I bet they meant p.m., but then they got put as a.m. Anyways, the Missoula Art Museum, they're having a lot of art going on this week. since it is First Friday. It is August 1st. This is our
Friday.
first show in August.
And we have a really good guest for our First Friday gallery this month, and it's Ron Scholl, and he is going to be showing some of his very own photography from his own adventures in the Missoula, Montana back doors. So you should really check it out. It's going to be interesting.
There's for Noelle's sake, there's a women's circle group acupuncture because she's into the whole spiritual healing thing.
Yes.
There's teen writers group at the Missoula Public Library at 3:30 p.m. Meet your practitioners night with Dr. Amy Haynes, and let's see, Meadow Sweet Herbs, and that's at 5 p.m. Let's see, and then there's Portal Transformation Music and Arts Festival going on at Logo Hot Springs, and of course Noel talked a little bit about it. It's supposed to be a kind of like a yoga retreat / music /
She kind of talked about it being sort of like the anti-electronica scene.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like it's going to be more towards experiencing nature versus computers.
Yep. And then we have a lot of First Friday stuff. We have the Brink Gallery is sponsoring the Fringe Festival, so they're showing like a kickoff thing with the ukulele lady that we had on last Friday.
Miss Liss and the Mystical Uke.
Yep, she's gonna be playing there. Yes, last time we had a guest on her show too, and she'll be performing for. She's performing at the Brink, right?
Yeah, she is.
And
yes.
she'll be performing 5 times within the hour. It's Amy, right? No, Anne? No, I don't know. Okay, but she hasn't performed live for an audience in over
30 years.
30 years.
Yeah, since the 1980s. So she's reflaming her passion for performing at the Fringe Festival this year, and it looks like she's really good. So it looks like it's going to be a really interesting performance for sure.
Yep, and we have, of course, we have the Clark Fork River Market, the People's Market, and the Missoula Farmers Market happening tomorrow morning. Not to mention we have the music festival that's going on as well. That Darko Butoracs will be talking to us in a couple seconds, but we'll be right back right after we show a little PSA by our very own Matthew Knight. So here, check it out.
Oh, hey! We didn't notice you there. Say, we're at an MCAT camp right now, and over the past summer, we've had many of them, so many that I can't keep track. And during these camps, we've had groups making movies all day long. It's a really great thing. And you can sign your child up today. The thing is, MCAT camps are amazing and fun, and everyone loves them. So, if you're thinking of camps to put your child in this summer to get them away from you, choose MCAT, because we know what we're doing, I think. And everything is just spectacular. Here I am, cat. Here I am, cat. Everything is cool. Here I am, cat. Here I am, cat. Everything is cool with a K.
Hey, we're back.
All right. We're back with Darko.
Good morning.
How's it
Good
going?
morning.
It's going great.
So
How
you
are
have
you
this
guys doing?
event that you're talking about. So can you tell us a little bit about it, like when, where?
I have a
gonna
couple
be?
of events I'm talking about, actually.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So first thing is tomorrow morning at the Clark Fork River Market at 10:30. The Missoula Symphony is presenting its own string quartet. So it's a little bit of entertainment for the local public while they're out shopping, buying tomatoes and such. And then a really special event for kids. I'm really excited that we're able to put it on, and Morgan Roth Music has helped us a lot to do this. We're going to have an instrumental petting zoo, and that's going to be over by where the fish are, over closer to the river?
Yes.
The sculpture of the salmon. Salmon? Trout.
Trout.
Yeah.
Yes.
No. Yeah. Montana, not Washington. Over by the fish sculpture, we're going to set up an instrumental petting zoo.
Petting zoo.
Yeah. The kids can come and they can try out different instruments. And we're going to have...
And hopefully get inspired.
Definitely get inspired. We have people there to show them how to play the instruments, musicians from our orchestra. So there's brass instruments, woodwind instruments, string instruments, the whole gamut. And really wonderful way for kids kind of to get excited about playing an instrument. I think that's very important. One of the important things we do in the community is to encourage young people to get involved more in music. It's from my perspective, I grew up playing it, but I found that generally doing well in school really does go together with playing an instrument. It teaches you lessons which, and you know, nowadays it's so easy. You can open the phone and find answers to anything, but you cannot cheat music. You have to actually sit down and practice.
So what do you think
it's a very good practice, a very good habit to learn.
Yeah, and why do you, and kind of getting off topic a little bit, but
sure.
Why do you think that music is such a good thing for children to have as a component to their whole life?
Well, first of all, I think it's the learning the lesson that, you know, you have to put the time in on the chair. You have to warm up the chair before you learn to play anything, so to speak. And there's an element of patience and persistence which leads to results. And it's so easy to shortcut nowadays. You know, you want to, I don't know, you want to buy a gallon of milk, you can practically order it online right now. You don't even have to leave your couch. And I think that's an important lesson going forward, because technology does make our lives a lot faster and easier. And music is, learning to play music reminds you kind of basic principles in learning skills. And that's that you simply have to take the time, be patient, and see the results over time. And it's really impressive if you look back, any skill, similar in sports. If you practice something really intensely for a year and look back, you're like, wow, but you don't notice it day to day. And that's, to me, it's a fascinating skill to learn. And the other thing is, you know, exposure to art. I mean, music, I think, ever since, you know, Caveman Joe decided to bang a couple of rocks together several thousand years ago, it's been integral to our society. And to play an instrument, I think, is really a way of expressing oneself, which is important for personal growth, for personal expression. So something I generally believe in, and I had the fortune to make my career in. But yeah, definitely.
So tell us about this concert you're having in the park.
All right.
What can people expect to see?
So this is, you mean tomorrow or the following weekend?
The following.
Both.
The following weekend.
Yeah,
okay.
so
tomorrow,
both,
tomorrow is the string quartet. It's 4 of our best players in the orchestra, and they play all kinds of popular music written for string quartet, just an entertainment for the general public, and kind of to add a little bit of local spice to the market. The following weekend, this is Sunday, August 10th, is our big concert. It's very neat. So it's the 10th annual Symphony in the Park. Every second weekend of August, every second Sunday in August, we present a concert free to the public in Caras Park. And we've had over 5,000 people show up regularly for these concerts. It's really exciting place to listen to music. You know, people can bring their own picnic. There are food vendors. Listen to music under the open sky in the evening. It's just really a wonderful place to enjoy a concert. We play all sorts of music. So next week, being the 10th anniversary of the concert, we've actually even brought a special guest artist. That's Tyler Barham, and he's from the Bitterroot area. He's a young kid who's really making it big on the Nashville scene. Wow. So he's going to play one of his country hits with the orchestra, which I absolutely love. You know, we're all about breaking barriers. So, I mean, an orchestra playing country music to me is I don't see anything wrong with that.
And the whole idea of the concert is that it'll appeal to everyone. So tell us
Absolutely.
about some of the songs that you're going to be playing.
Sure. Every year I put a program together that tries to draw on all sorts of different styles. And a side note, I have to really give credit to my orchestra for being able to navigate them so well. They really are at home at many different styles. So this year, where do I start? Let's start with the classical music. We do that. That's our baby, so to speak. We're going to do 2 great pieces, Prokofiev's Romeo and Juliet, the Montagues and Capulets. Title may not mean much, but I'm sure you know it. You've heard it many times. Great piece. Yeah. We'll end the concert with The Great Gate of Kiev from Mussorgsky's Pictures at an Exhibition, another big bombastic classic. It starts loud and gets louder, so can't go wrong with that. But in between, all sorts of stuff. So a bunch of movie music. We're doing, we wanted to do a little focus on some of the kids' favorites. So we're doing music from the movie Up, Disney's Up, nice. And from Shrek. But then also, I'm a big fan personally of the music of Ennio Morricone from the Spaghetti Westerns.
Yes.
And so we're doing the opening titles, The Good, Bad, and the Ugly, and also the Gabriel Zobo from The Mission, which, if I'm not mistaken, was used by Metallica to open every one of their shows. So it's kind of like, it's neat. Yeah, you can span all sorts of genres just with
So
that.
the good, the bad, and the ugly. Who's doing the? Wah, wah?
The,
Oh, okay.
that one?
Yeah.
I think it starts first in the clarinet, and then kind of gets tossed around different instruments.
So tell us a little bit about, there's this famous ice cream that's been going around. It's called the Baccalate.
The Baccalate ice cream. Yeah, this was an idea that came about a few years ago. Big Dipper has generously supported the symphony and music in Missoula every time around the summer concerts. So they create a new ice cream, and it's called Baccalate. It's named after Johann Sebastian Bach, right? So Bach was a huge coffee lover. And he actually wrote a piece called the Coffee Cantata. And so in honor of Bach and his love of caffeine, and music, I suppose, we've created this ice cream which is sold the week of it's a special during the summer that Big Dipper creates, and they sell it at the store, and also their big yellow truck will be there. And like I mentioned, there's all sorts of vendors which are available at the event, so people can grab a bite and enjoy the lovely evening.
Right. Great music, special ice cream.
Yep.
A lot of great events going on this summer. Your
Yep.
summer is like your candy factory with music.
Yes,
isn't it?
yes, it really is. And I should mention also one of the neat things about this particular concert. It's also the opening to our 60th anniversary season. So the Symphony in the Park was started for the 50th anniversary season. Now we're celebrating both 10 years of Symphony in the Park and the opening of the 60th anniversary season of the Missoula Symphony. And it's really cool. I mean, for me personally, to be a part of an organization that's been around for so long and is really doing well. We've sold out many concerts over the last couple of years, and the community is really excited about what we do. So I feel blessed to be able to take part in it.
Absolutely.
So before we go, would you mind pitching your events one more time?
Sure, greatly. So tomorrow, Saturday morning, at the Clark 4 River Market, we have a performance by the Missoula Symphony String Quartet, and we have the Instrumental Petting Zoo, a place where kids can try out instruments from different groups of the orchestra. That will be taking place by the Fish at the Clark 4 River Market. The following weekend, Sunday, August 10th, is the big concert that starts at 7 p.m. I suggest coming a little bit earlier. A lot of people come and grab their favorite spots on the grassy knoll and so, but that will be the big 10th anniversary concert of Symphony in the Park.
All right. Well,
Great.
Fabulous.
Thanks, guys.
all right. Well, thanks for joining us. You know,
absolutely.
we really appreciate you coming by, and we'll be right back right after this.
Thank you.
Wait for what?
We still have half a show left, so stay tuned.
Come on, guys. Rolling? Good. When hiking in bear country like this, it's important to remember your essentials, like bear spray and knowing how to use it. Liam, where's my bear spray?
I put it in the bottom of your pack.
I didn't mean, how am I supposed to get it quickly?
When adventuring in bear country, remember, bring bear spray and know how to use it. Hike in groups, make noise, and don't run. Be bear aware.
Welcome back, guys.
We are back. That was a great interview with Darko Butoracs.
Yep.
From the Missoula Symphony Orchestra. Wow. Looks like they're going to be having a really great show coming up, so should be interesting. And also, the educational aspect is great. I mean, teaching kids how to play instruments is absolutely amazing. So.
And important.
And important, yeah.
It's definitely another skill that people should know how to pick up, and it's just like it's always so funny. You know, if you want something to talk about with someone, it's just like, oh, I play music. Oh, you play music? It's like, cool. I play this instrument. Oh, yeah. We should just come together and play music.
Yeah, and I mean,
and you can do that by joining the city band. That happens every week.
And as we just heard, I mean, it's the whole process of learning how to play an instrument that's so good for kids to practice, because it practices patience and just reality of life. But speaking of kids, you've got your kids camp that's going on this week, and
we got a little
gonna-
taste of
Yeah.
what you guys can be expecting tonight, because this is going to be our big, huge premiere of our big movie. So I'm going to set up the clip. So the clip basically is in the middle of the movie where he's telling his story about how he and his brother are arrested for trespassing on a river they usually fish on, and it's only become recently that they're starting to wonder. It's like, okay, so is the river private property or is it not? So that's kind of like the story. It's a political drama.
So how did you? Yeah, I mean, before I just showed this real quickly, but this is amazing. You came up with this idea
Because of you.
You wrote this script because of what we do in city council. Wow.
Because we do in city council, we got to use city council chambers in Missoula to
Yeah.
film this, because MCAT already has all the equipment over there anyway, so we utilize the cameras there, and yeah, it's just a lot of great stuff.
It's a great.
And this is setting up a clip where he's in the middle of the story, and then we're going to jump into the end of this, basically him at the tail end of his story, but then of course there's still more to this movie than just after these scenes. So
Cool, let's check it
And this
out.
movie is supposed to be about over 15 minutes long. It's going to be
Wow.
a nice long one.
Yeah, that's gonna be nice and long.
And
All right.
all was done and filmed and edited this week.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right,
Right.
well let's take a look.
Not only did we get arrested, but my brother lost his job. Things have been getting tough for my family the last few years. All my brother and I had was our Nana.
Did Nana send you?
Nah, you always come here, whether you're sad or happy.
Dad used to bring me here.
You were little.
Kendra Roxy is such a pain.
Why?
She has a big mouth.
Yeah, sometimes you have to speak up. Other times you have to know when to shut up. Her uncle's a lot like her.
Paul, I know. He goes to the city council more than the police do. And on purpose.
Yeah, I don't know.
They'll get a job.
A reputation is hard to get rid of in a small town like this. All right, let's go, Munchkin.
Hello, boys. Come in and sit down before it gets cold. You'll know better next time.
Nana?
Yes, Nana.
How was your day today, Gray?
It was good.
That'll be the only one you'll have like that for a while. And don't think I'm not going to be watching because the wheel is on, and I'll be watching all day today.
Bill lost his job.
I know, I heard from Kendall Roxy, who said she told me she also saw you downtown.
That blabbermouth.
Just like her ma doesn't know when to shut up. Don't get me started on Paul.
What happened? All this because we fished at our usual spot on the river.
That's not the point. We trespassed. And I find that we're gonna have a hard time getting out of it.
I think that's messed up. How can we get our fishing spot back?
I doubt Mr. Wagner will be so kind to let us fish. He did call the cops on us.
Really?
Yeah, I also heard that we weren't the only ones that trespassed.
What can we do?
I'm too busy trying to find work to pay for this mess we're in.
You could always appeal to the mayor.
Really?
Yes, they have council meeting every Monday at 7 p.m.
I get to talk to the mayor?
More like you get to talk at the mayor.
I better get started.
I hope he doesn't make things worse.
I hope so too.
That's my story, minus the boring stuff. The point that I'm trying to make...
You've run out of time, Mr. Mays.
Now, just a minute. He worked awfully hard on this. You better listen up or there'll be hell to pay.
Okay, go ahead. Finish your story.
I thought Montana had an open river access for all. Times when my brother and father could enjoy a Saturday afternoon on the river. All I ask is you don't take away our rivers and you don't take away my father's memory.
Thank you, Mr. Mays, for your speech. Are there any other public comments? Seeing as there is none, we'll move on to our next agenda, new item, street sweeper totaling $66,600.
And that's it. There's a little taste of what you guys can be expecting tonight. It's pretty
Wow.
intense.
Wow,
Yep.
that was really intense, actually.
You think so?
Yeah, pretty intense. I mean, you've got city council, you've got Nana. Who's, also
Nana's really intense.
Yeah, and speaking of city council, we actually have some city council going on.
We utilize the graphics and the TriCaster that we have at the city council to make this movie.
That was actually talk about that a little bit. Tell us a little bit more about that.
A little more about that. I think it's pretty clever, and I think it's pretty awesome that the kids get exposed to what MCAT does for the community, not only the public part of it, educational part, and the governmental part of what makes MCAT so great.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, speaking of what MCAT does indeed film city council meetings, and one of the city council meetings that was really exciting this week was Committee of the Whole, and basically, to summarize it all, there was two meetings. There was a meeting between the I3 Teen Council, and I3 stands for Inspiring, Imaginative, and Innovative. And
Nice.
So the Youth Council, they want to set up their own sort of subcommittee and be able to influence City Council, basically giving teens ages 14 to 18 the ability the means to express their opinions in City Council. So
nice.
We'll show you a little clip from that. I'll show you the clip right now, but basically they want to get their own subcommittee on the government website, which we use. So
nice.
Yeah, let's take a listen.
And everything that they need if they were looking to do it. The second thing that we would need is a liaison from the city council who would serve as kind of a bridge between the two councils. So they would attend all of the meetings, and they would okay ideas that would be sent on to you. And we would need the city council to review the applications once they are actually all turned in. We would have you guys vote on them and decide which applications were the best. And although we haven't decided the budget as far as what each individual dollar is going to be decided
so
for.
That's them talking about the liaison. They need a liaison between. So basically, they want to find somebody who is pretty much on city council to represent them through city council. So basically, I think Emily Bentley was one of the people that was talking about volunteering. Here's Jason Weiner, and he's talking about how they can get their youth council up and running. So let's listen to Jason Weiner.
Actually be a good way to get this off the ground. It's really easy to set up. We just pick a committee of jurisdiction, and the chair says, okay, we're going to have a subcommittee. And then the chair appoints the members. So they would be able to appoint people from the council as well as general public members. The things that a subcommittee does are noticed on our website, and that kind of thing. Again, Economic Development Subcommittee is an example of the active one that we have right now. I also heard mention of an ordinance.
So that's Jason Weiner talking about, how they can get up and running, how they can get off the ground. We're going to jump ahead because basically the Missoula Youth Council, they want to ask for money to put on a festival. So basically they're asking for city government to give them money to put on a festival that they can make money back for the city. And basically there's no subcommittee or neighborhood council committee that gets funding like this. So Ed Childers, he has to basically tell them that they're really in a unique situation. So let's listen to Ed Childers.
I think separate neighborhood councils, each and every one of which could use your participation. I believe everyone in the city council, in the neighborhood council area is by definition a member of the neighborhood council. And you can go there and make decisions and use the fairly small amount of funding that's there. So as I understand it, what you'd like to do is set up another such system with 3 sections in it, 1 for each high school, I guess. And I don't know where that's going to go. I think it's really interesting, and I think it's more than wonderful that all you folks have come to support the idea that the sub-voter age population should have a voice in what happens to the city you live in. That's wonderful. I just don't know exactly how that's going to happen, and I'm a little concerned that the adult population, you know, the 60-year-old folks, will make the decisions for the sub-18 population, which is you guys pretty much. I want you to do this. I want you to be prepared to run for city council when you're 18 so that, you know, people like me can get off of here.
So
Nice.
yeah, that was a good one. So yeah, that's basically that meeting, and then the next meeting that we had on here, if I can pull it up. There we go. This was to talk about the broadband studies going on. So basically, as you guys know,
Does this have to do with the fiber and all that joint trenching they've been trying to do?
Joint trenching, exactly.
And now they're going back to more broadband and trying to convince people that broadband's good?
Yeah, and I mean, they're talking about the joint trenching here, and they're talking about how, you know, if you're going to dig up the street to do road work, you definitely need to put the broadband in, and this is where...
And it totally makes sense. You know what's preventing it? Ego.
Well,
that's what I've noticed.
What's preventing it is funding, but...
A lot of it's ego, too.
A lot of it's ego. Well, let's listen to this presentation by Caitlin Koppel, because she talks a little bit about the broadband joint trenching process. So let's listen.
Already invested in as a city and as a county, and really make a game-changing difference when it comes to creating high-paying jobs in our community. And we're very thankful to the Big Sky Trust Fund grant and the matching funds that the city and the county provided to help us get to this point. All right, so ta-da, the major recommendations. Most of you have probably read this in the paper, but the signature recommendation that's brand new to you this time is that Magellan is recommending that the city and the county invest $10 million in a 60-mile self-financed open access community fiber network. We're going to talk more about what that means and how that's worked in other places. But this network, the proposed network, would connect 50 entities, K-12 public schools, local government, the schools that are in the county, such as DeSmet and Woodman School, some of which don't even have the bandwidth right now to do their standardized testing that's required by OPI. And then this network would also be similar to the one that is now operating in Butte, open to the businesses that want to use it. And we'll talk more about that.
So that's Caitlin Koppel talking about how we're going to get this broadband, what exactly it is. And so here is kind of how they're going to do it. Here's an example. Here's a conceptual piece to show you what it's going to look like.
Businesses, most of them want to be in the downtown area, fiber-connected buildings, and you can see sort of the government buildings that are also connected. And then eventually, you know, even if we build a network that connects the basic pieces that we're talking about, which is really education, healthcare, government, there's an advantage because eventually that network will be able to be utilized for residential growth too.
Okay, so that's a conceptual look at how it'll appear when they put in the broadband. And they're going to talk about top-notch infrastructure and dig it while you can. So basically, dig it while you can means when you can dig it, which means when they're putting up road construction. So when road construction is going on, that's what it means. So
joint trenching.
Joint trenching, yeah. So
if it'll ever happen.
So let's look at these fiber-friendly policies.
Developers to use this common trench so that you can be efficient and make sure that you have the fiber-friendly infrastructure that you need to make sure that you have a top-notch broadband network. We also saw in the recommendations that the city and the county should develop capital improvement project funds to help pay for this infrastructure on the front end, so we're not going back later and adding it, that we're really being proactive with our strategy, and also making sure that we have 21st century broadband standards that are apparent throughout our land use codes, and that utility projects are prioritizing fiber engineering when we're building things. We also have been proactive in trying to collaborate with developers in that community and making sure that we develop these standards and Dig Once policies, and while they're based on national models and things that have worked elsewhere, that we're localizing them so that they work as well as they can for Missoula.
All right, so that's Caitlin Koppel talking about sort of the dig it once, do it once policy.
I mean, a lot of what they're talking about seems a lot of review, because their concept of joint entrenching and then dig once and all this stuff. But is there any new information that they've been providing besides the concept of how they want to lay down the fiber? Like, what is the main focus that they're trying to do to get, other construction businesses that are doing all the digging for various other projects to get on board with this fiber?
Well, the thing is that if we don't put this fiber in, then Google Fiber is going to come in and put it in themselves. So basically, they're getting all of the local telecommunications, businesses on board, because if they don't do it, then Google is going to come in and do it for us. So.
You mean so if Missoula just sits back and does nothing, Google just put it in anyways?
Yeah.
Isn't that counterproductive if you think about it? It's just like, oh, I didn't know you put in Google Fiber, and I don't want you doing that or something. Somebody might say that.
Yeah.
But I think our job. I think that wouldn't you think that their job would be to be more educated everyone about it and try to get everyone on board for it?
Well, and that's exactly what this next soundbite's going to be about, is getting everybody on board, a co-op between businesses. And Adam Hertz brings it up. So let's listen to what Adam Hertz has to say.
Yes, I haven't seen financial projections, and I don't understand, what the taxpayers might be on the hook for in the event that this doesn't work out as planned. But I wonder if a co-op model was looked into rather than a government-sponsored model. Essentially a very similar thing, but with revenue bonds where, the only thing you're risking is the actual infrastructure and not putting taxpayers on the hook for additional risk.
I think part of the operational, the city and county have both invested in this feasibility study and obviously are part of sort of that anchor network that can create that aggregate demand that justifies the cost. But I think that the operational model, I think that's a great question, and I think that's part of the stuff that we need to look into in the strategy and work out and hash out the details and who will own and operate, in the sense that they have ownership of it, not necessarily that they're providing services.
All right, so that's them talking about getting a co-op in between the different businesses. And basically, other than that, that was basically the meeting. They had the county commissioners come in to represent the county, so
right.
It was a pretty interesting meeting, and they talked a lot about what's going to be happening in our broadband future.
That sounds great. What they're doing right now is probably the right thing to do, and is to get everyone on board and to cooperate and all that stuff. But I'm going to show another PSA by the very own Christian Ackerman about channel change, and then we'll be back to talk about more stuff. So if you don't mind, and here it is.
MCAT channel 711 is becoming channel 189 and 190? That's impossible!
Yeah.
That was good. Luke Skywalker. Very nice.
And of course there's just one more, but yeah, technology is important, and everything's changing, everything's becoming digital, everything has to be computer oriented. The end of television is upon us. It's like everything's becoming streaming online. I can totally see public access stations becoming more like public streaming stations. Like a hub for public streaming. So MCAT will be called MCAT,
MCAT.com.
Yeah, Missoula Community Access Streaming, so it's MCAS.
So
Ooh, that doesn't sound great.
So it'll stream online, so basically anybody can just go on the MCAT website and they can do that now.
We are streaming right now, and I will show you all our grades. If you go onto our website at mcat.org, you can find Watch Now. You can channel 7, 11. We have Vimeo on demand, so you can show all the programming that we have without commercials, even though we never have commercials because we are a nonprofit.
So we're already ahead of the curve. We're already streaming online.
Yep.
So
all sorts of great stuff.
Yeah, and I mean it shows what's going on this weekend, but just to say that we are already ahead of the curve. We already are streaming online. It's pretty amazing. And so what else do we have?
One more PSA, and then I'm going to talk a little more about where you can find more information about us, MCAT, and how you can get involved.
Doc, what's up? Martin, it's MCAT. When you see MCAT channel 711 change the channels 189 to 190, you're going to see some serious stuff.
Doc, are you telling me that MCAT channel 711 is going to be channel 189 and 190?
Precisely.
That's heavy.
Great Scott! When light!
Yep.
Those guys do such a great job.
Yeah. I think they'll probably do a couple more, but since Christian's out of town, his son just turned 3, and they're going to California to do some California thing, visit with his family, maybe even get a small part in the movie. Who knows? I don't know.
Probably.
I know. So you can find all information about what we just showed and more at our Facebook page, Wake Up Missoula.
Wake Up Missoula on Facebook.
And Twitter. We have all sorts of stuff. You can see that we have our last video from yesterday with Bob. He's talking about the Fringe Fest. He is the Vice
Executive
Chair.
Director.
Vice Executive Director.
He's the Executive Director.
Executive Director.
Fringe Festival, yeah.
Fringe Festival.
Bob Leggett and Lucy Voliata is a performing artist that we had on, and that was great. That was great, and it should be really exciting to see her. You know, although we talk, so we're gonna have a Fringe Festival show where we just feature all Fringe Festival people, and it's gonna be awesome. Basically,
it's gonna be awesome possum.
Awesome possum.
There's going to be a lot going on today. We have First Friday. We have the premiere of the Movie Making Club, Movie Making Camp movie, and Ron's art. He climbs mountains upon mountains of stuff.
Yes.
I've
been on some of those climbs, and they are pretty hardcore.
Yeah, and he's passed the 5,000 times. I mean, he's climbed Mount Sentinel with, it's the mountain with the M on it. It's Mount Sentinel. So
it's that one.
It's that one. He's climbed that right there.
Yeah.
Over 5,000 times.
Yeah, it's incredible.
And if there's a world record for it, it should belong to him. He hikes up there 5-6 times a week.
Yeah.
Once every day, pretty much.
And that's his art. So we're gonna be taking a look inside Ron Schul's mind as he climbs these mountains. It's gonna be incredible.
So one example is this. That's one of his pictures. He took a nice little picture where the sun is refracting off of some of the snow that's in the air.
Yeah.
Just beautiful. Just lots of great stuff. Ron's art, you can walk around the art, and of course you'll be able to see the movie here in the studio. We're going to set up the studio like a nice movie theater, and we also have our live show at 5 p.m. today here at MCAT for the kids camp. So they're going to talk about their movie, all that stuff, and then we're going to premiere it to the family. Just a lot of moving parts, and yeah, the only thing we basically got to do today is piece all the movie together.
Yeah.
Put it on DVDs and send it to the kids. So
how do you feel about the process so far?
The process so far, this whole week's been stressful. I've been going crazy, and people come in, it's like, I'm sorry, MCAT's closed. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
So I've been rude to a couple people.
MCAT is closed to the public except for after 5 p.m.
Well, after 5 p.m. is our first Friday, and there's going to be a lot of public. So MCAT is closed to the public today. Yeah. If you want me to help you, I won't help you because I'm going to be way busy. And if I'm mean,
it's going to be producing a movie.
Yep.
It's going to be awesome.
So anyways, log onto our Facebook page, Twitter page, go onto MCAT.org to find all sorts of great information about Wake Up Missoula. But for Wake Up Missoula, I I'm Scott Ramph.
And I'm Josh Minnie. Have a great weekend, everybody.
And thanks for joining us. Stay classy.